Tonight's coffin caper is so crammed with ghastly greed and vomitous violence that parental guidance is advised.
Hey, what's up, world? Hope you're all hanging in there, not letting this insanity get to you too much, but at the same time, I hope you're allowing it get to you just enough to motivate your ass. Because we should not be apathetic to the things that are going on. I know I encourage you to stay happy, stay healthy, and stay sharp, but that does not mean to stay passive and to stay apathetic to the things that are occurring.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
As a band that I used to enjoy has said, anger is a gift. Nowadays, I can't even listen to that band because they went along with the vaccine program, and then their drummer, I believe it was their drummer, died suddenly. Yeah, they were like, if you want to go on tour with us, you got to get the experimental unmentionables. And he got it, he went along with it, and then boom, died suddenly on that tour. I believe it was on the tour. It might have been right after the tour. Actually, I'm almost positive it was on the tour. So now anytime a song of that band's appears on either my Pandora or anything that I'm listening to music on, I can't even listen to it. They're pathetic. But yes, anger is a gift, but make sure it's controlled anger and it's directed at the right culprits. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get right into today's video. I'm going to be talking about what's going on in Syria. I'm going to be talking about, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, the terrorists that were supported by Israel that exist currently in Syria. Not only were they supported by Israel, but because the other Western countries were silent to it, they're also being supported by other Western countries. And actually, I believe I covered in a couple of videos ago that they finally lifted the sanctions on Syria now that a terrorist faction has taken over. So we're going to be looking at that. But before we look at that, I want to talk about what I said in this video right here. Who writes this crap? This is from December 10th, 2024. I can't believe it's already been that many months. So anyway, in this video, at the 5-minute mark, I say the following. Confused that they were safe. Yeah, we're reassuring you guys, you're safe now. The terrorists have freed you. You're perfectly safe as long as you join their terrorist regime. If you don't, they're going to kill you, put you in a mass grave, and then probably blame Assad. Oh yeah, these aren't our mass graves. We're not the crazy terrorist murderers. No, that's the Assad regime. So anyway, as you probably heard there, if you didn't, I'll try to correct the sound. But as I said there, the Al Jazeera, all about the news at the time, after Assad was toppled, they were talking about these prisons. And oh yeah, these prisons were full with innocent people who needed to be rescued from the Assad regime. And they were saying, oh yes, these prisoners, these people who are in fucking prison, oh, they're finally safe. Now, of course, the terrorists were breaking these people out of prison because they wanted more people that were a bunch of psychos and a bunch of sickos to join their factions, and because a lot of these prisons were actually full with terrorists that have been terrorizing the Syrian people and the Syrian country for actually now over a decade, since at least 2014. It's now 2025. So they made sure to go in there and bust out their terrorist pals, and then the Western media, these fucking pieces of shit, they were like, oh yeah, what a great thing. It's as great as Christmas over here. So anyway, as expected, because terrorists do what terrorists always fucking do, and they kill those who don't agree with them, they terrorize those who don't agree with them, much like other Western countries do. Some Western countries, they don't use direct terror, instead they use psychological terror. They cancel you, they make sure you don't have means to support yourself, they smear your name. That's what they do. Oh yeah, they'll use all kinds of derogatory labels for you. Might as well kill you. So anyway, we got this article from AP. This is going to be the first article we look at, and then you're going to see that as we look at some other articles, it becomes more and more clear as to what's actually going on there. So this article titled 2 Days of Clashes, and Revenge Killings in Syria leave more than 1,000 people dead. So let's look at what they have here. Let's look at the bullshit that they have here. This is from March 8th, 2025. Today is March 15th, 2025. Let's look what they have here. The death toll from 2 days of clashes. Let me give you a hint. There's no fucking 2 days of clashes, all right? This is bullshit. It's more like 2 days of fucking safari hunting by terrorists. Between Syrian security forces and loyalists of ousted President Bashar al-Assad. I'm sorry, they're not using Bashar al-Assad. That's right. They were using al-Assad, al-Bashar, al-Bashir a couple months ago when they were trying to fucking make it like he was some kind of member of fucking Al-Qaeda, even though these terrorists that took over are the ones who are fucking actual in Al-Qaeda faction. So let me reread that. So the death toll from 2 days of clashes between Syrian security forces. I like how this is what they're calling them here. This is the new name for the terrorist, right? The Syrian security forces. Yeah, we got some what is that? Alliteration there. Yeah, we're gonna with the S and the S. Yeah, Syrian security forces. Yeah, that'll fucking settle right into the brainwashed minds of the masses real nice. They won't fucking think twice when they read that. Oh yeah, these aren't fucking terrorists. These are Syrian security forces. It sounds so authentic, so legit. Like, yeah, these are the security forces of Syria. These aren't fucking terrorists. And then look what they call these fucking victims. And loyalist. Yeah, when a person's loyal, it makes it almost sound like an extremist. Loyalist, extremist. They kind of fucking have some little end rhyme there. Sounds like, oh yeah, they're just mindlessly loyal to these people. Anyway, and loyalist of ousted President Bashar Assad and revenge killings that followed has risen to more than 1,000. A war monitoring group said Saturday. Oh yeah, it was a war monitoring group. Yeah, because this is a war. Yeah, this isn't a fucking straight up hunting and killing and massacre and genocide. It's not an ethnic cleansing of these fucking Alawites. No, it's not that. It's a war. Because this is from 2 days of clashes. Sometimes I fucking wish I got a lobotomy so I'd just be too fucking dumb. I'd be dumbed down to the level of the masses where maybe this stuff wouldn't affect me so much. Or I wouldn't be able to see through it. You know, I would be fucking a happy, brainwashed moron. Where ignorance is bliss, bad philosophy exists. I have a video on that, a very old video, but yeah, you know, they had that saying, oh yeah, ignorance is bliss. Well, no, ignorance is only bliss where bad philosophy exists. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sorry for the many digressions. I'm only going to be covering a couple articles in this video. So this war monitoring group said on Saturday, making it one of the deadliest acts of violence since Syria's conflict began 14 years ago. Syria's conflict? Oh, you mean when Obama had all these fucking terrorists go in there and start fucking destabilizing the country right after we went and fucking destabilized and destroyed Libya? Oh yeah, it's Syria's conflict. No, it's not some fucking outside fucking terrorist action going on here. No, it's Syria's conflict. When Syria's conflict began 14 years ago. This fucking whitewashing of history is pathetic. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said in addition to 745 civilians killed, mostly in shootings from close distance, yeah, fucking executed at close range, 125 government security force members, remember, this is the terrorist. When they say government security force members, this is them just trying to legitimize the terrorist, okay? So when you see government security force members, those are terrorists. And 148 militants, now they're militants, okay? Now before they were loyalists, now they're militants with armed groups affiliated with Assad were killed. I'm sure that fucking... I would actually even question if this has actually even happened or if this was just an excuse to go in there and kill these people. They're like, oh yeah, there was some clashes. Some of these people died. But it's actually a majority of civilians. Actually, I can guarantee you that these are all civilians, right? Were killed. It added that electricity and drinking water were cut off in large areas around the city of Latakia. Oh, that sounds like Israel's MO. That's what they're doing to the fucking innocent people in Palestine. That's right, most of them are fucking innocent. Despite what the fucking media likes to paint, right? So I just want to look at this map real quick. So if you see, this is Syria over here. So this is where it's zoomed in on. It's zoomed in on this section of Syria. There's this large swath of southern Syria that they're not accounting for. And if you look over here, it kind of shows like a gray area over here. You know why? Because that's where fucking Israel forces are occupying and killing people at. Horrible. Greater Israel project going on in full swing. So this is the geographical location of where it's happening. Now let's go to another article here, right? An article that has a slightly more honest headline from the New York Post. Same day it was posted. It was posted the same exact day. You see March 8th. This was March 8th, right? Let's look how the New York Post covers this. More than 1,000 dead in Syria after Islamist terrorists who toppled Assad clash with Alawite loyalists. So they're a little bit fucking closer to the truth. Still not entirely fucking being truthful. They're still using this bullshit loyalist stuff. And they're still acting like there are clashes going on and not straight fucking murders and not a straight up massacre. Yeah, no. But at least they're being honest and they're calling them what they are, which is Islamist terrorist. Okay, we can just say fucking terrorist, right? So let's see how they report in the first couple of paragraphs here. More than 1,000 people, including women and children. Thank you for fucking actually pointing that out. Associated Press didn't point that shit out. And it's hilarious, too, because when I was on the Associated Press page, there was a little thing that popped up over here before when I was first looking at this page, asking for donations. It was all like, oh, yeah, Associated Press has been bringing you the truth or the facts for like 100 and something years. You fucking scumbags. So more than 1,000 people, including women and children, have been killed in Syria as its new Islamist rulers clash with the loyalists of the toppled Assad regime, marking one of the country's most violent episodes since conflict began there 14 years ago. At least they're not calling it the Syrian conflict. They're saying conflict. Yeah, what kind of conflict? A fucking foreign-backed conflict. So about 745 civilians from the Alawite minority have reportedly been killed since Thursday, when violence broke out between security forces for the ruling Sunni Islamist insurgency group and supporters of ex-President Bashar al-Assad and Alawite himself. The Islamist rebels, at least they're being a little bit more honest here. You see what I mean? Like, this is why you got to look at multiple news sources. The Islamist rebel group led by interim President Ahmed al-Shara. Oh, whoa, this guy's got an al in his fucking name. No wonder why they stopped fucking saying al-Bashar, al-Bashir, al-Assad like they were fucking doing a couple months ago in my video, Who Writes This Crap? They fucking love to fucking throw the al in there. Looks like this asshole's got the fucking al in his title. Fucking Al-Qaeda piece of shit. Toppled the government in December and ousted Assad, and who immediately fled the country. You see what I mean? Like, this is what I was talking about, though, in my previous video, Who Writes This Crap? Before, they would just call Assad, Assad. Bashar, Assad. They would say the Assad government. Then a couple months ago, when they had all this propaganda circulating around, trying to like paint Assad like as a terrible person, they were like, al-Assad, al-Bashir, al-Assad, al-Assad. Fucking scumbags. Actually, over here, they actually have it. Ex-President Bashar al-Assad. Actually, they do have it here. I don't know how I missed that. There was a lot of this going on, right? So it has since imposed. This is the Islamic extremist. It has since imposed Islamic law in an effort to rebuild stability in the country, but now faces its most serious threat since taking power. What do you mean its most serious threat? Fucking genociding people and ethnic cleansing? Pathetic. Okay, the government said it was responding to attacks from remnants of the ousted president's forces and blamed individual actions for the rampant violence this week. So essentially, when you read this article, they're like, oh yeah, we didn't like send our security forces over there to murder people indiscriminately. No, this is just individual actions. They're just individuals who are going to extremes and killing people unnecessarily. And they're like, yeah, we're going to investigate. Don't worry, we're going to investigate ourselves and we'll find ourselves innocent. Now, they have to report on this because these fucking individuals are recording their fucking brutal murders, their massacres, and then uploading it to the internet. Like, they're so proud of what they're doing. And I've seen these videos myself. They're fucking disgusting. They're making these people crawl, and then after making them crawl and humiliating them and torturing them, they're just shooting them to death. Chasing them down and hunting them like dogs. There's no clashes. I have not seen a single fucking video of clashes. I've seen innocent civilians hunted down like animals, like helpless fucking animals, and executed in cold blood by soulless fucking demons. And this article right here actually captures that. This is March 13th, 2025 from RT. Safari hunting Alawites. Relatives of those murdered in Syria's massacre speak out. The bereaved tell RT of how the atrocities unfolded and their distrust in the system that investigates them. In the early days of March 2025, Syria's coastal regions were engulfed in a wave of sectarian violence, terrorism, that have left an indelible mark on the nation's collective conscience. It hasn't not left a mark on the nation's collective conscience because now the nation has been taken over by fucking terrorists. Predominantly targeting the Alawite minority, the atrocities have reignited fears of deepening sectarian divides and underscored the challenges facing Syria's path to stability. What are you talking about? They're fucking wiping people out. And the fucking EU and these other European countries, they've lifted the sanctions. Oh no, let's give these people as much money as possible so that they can go about their ethnic cleansing with as much funds as they need. It all began on March 6th when armed men loyal to ousted President Bashar, oh look at that, they got the Bashar al-Assad over here, launched an attack on Syrian state security forces in Latvia. The current president, this scumbag right here, responded with force. Thousands of armed men engulfed the region and retaliatory attacks began. Their target was the Alawite community, a minority sect within the Shiite Islam to which the Assads belong. Comprising some 10 to 13% of the entire Syrian population, there's going to be a lot of fucking deaths. The Alawites have traditionally lived in the coastal region, Tartarus, Latvia, and other cities and towns. And this is exactly where the gangs of al-Shara arrived on that fateful Friday. Yeah, thanks for calling them gangs. Just call them terrorist fucking gangs. Reports indicate that over a span of 72 hours, just 72 hours, more than 1,300 individuals were killed, with civilians bearing the brunt of the violence. The British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, oh, now at least we don't have some fucking war thing reporting this, which makes it sound like there's a war going on over there, not a fucking massacre, reported that 830 civilians were among the dead, along 231 Syrian security forces, these are the terrorists, and 250 Alawite militants, but the actual number could be much higher. All right, we're going to move on because it's going to make it like this is all the horrors of war. Let's move on to another article that's a little bit more illuminating, right? So, entire families killed in Syria fighting, UN says. Hundreds reported killed in violence in Syria's coastal region, which is heavily populated by Alawites. Violence, you mean terrorism. So, entire families, including women and children, have been killed in Syria's coastal region. What's this? This is March 11th, right? By rival gangs, sectarian killings by rival gangs. So, it's just pretty much the same thing now, right? However, we have this honest reporter over here. This is also from RT, but this is a live video. And she claims that the killings, that the reported killings are actually much higher than what's being reported. So, and she also points out that like this is a lot of this seems to be a way to pull attention from what Israel is doing in Palestine. Let me see how much of this video I have here.
The number of people that have been killed, civilians that have been killed in just the last week alone is at least 6,000. It could be even 10,000 people killed in just this last week. That's extremely alarming. So in terms of the protection that Syrians are asking for, they are saying they want some.
So anyway, I guess I don't have more of that interview there. I thought I had more of it, but at the start of that interview, she fucking blasts Israel, and rightly so. Number one terrorist state. I regret saying that about Ukraine in my previous video. Obviously, the number one terrorist state right now is Israel. They are fucking supporting these terrorists in Syria. They're going about terrorizing the shit out of hundreds of thousands and millions of people at this point. Because now they went from fucking Gaza Strip, which had, like a few million people there, that they terrorized every single one of them. They've cut off their supply. I'll be talking about that in the next video. Then they went into the West Bank. They're now terrorizing people in the West Bank. They're in southern Syria terrorizing people there. They're bombing fucking Lebanon. Or at least they were. I'm sure that they currently still are. So they're terrorizing literally millions of fucking people right now. Directly terrorizing them, causing blood, destruction, and death. Mass destruction and death. I don't know how one can cause blood. That was obviously me misspeaking. But I'll be talking about that in my next video. And then after that, I'm going to be calling out all these fucking content creators on YouTube and all these other fucking platforms. All these other cocksuckers who are no different than the mainstream media. They're crickets. They're silent. Not a word from them because they don't want to lose their monetization. They don't want to be shadow banned. They are worse than the mainstream media because at least those cocksuckers in the mainstream media are being paid really good fucking money for their soul. These cocksuckers on fucking YouTube and these other platforms that are fucking completely silent on this and are just covering goofball news, their souls are very cheap. They're very cheap whores. And they're covering all kinds of bullshit. Total bullshit. You got fucking Brian over at Here's the Deal and The Disturbing Illusion covering fucking bullshit. Oh, let's talk about police officers in the United States. Oh, let's talk about those guys. Oh, and we're only going to talk about those guys on Here's the Deal. And then my Disturbing Illusion channel, oh yeah, let's talk about X being taken down. He has a fucking whole video about X coming under cyber attack. Who gives a fuck about X? I want to say stay happy, stay healthy, stay sharp. But maybe it's time to get a little fucking angry like I said at the beginning of this video. Of course, angry in the correct way. I'm not advocating fucking violence or anything like that. But we need to fucking get serious with this. People should be talking about this all across the board. As I wrote in a fucking comment on BitChute, I called this guy Brian out on BitChute, on one of his BitChute videos. And somebody responded. They were like, oh, well, this is his Here's the Deal channel. He only covers police interactions here. I don't care if your channel's about Barney the fucking dinosaur. Everybody should be covering this. And this is going to be a topic I'll be talking about in another video, which is this concept of concord. I'm reading this book. I think I read a quote from it a couple videos ago. I'm reading this book, this essay, by a man much greater than any of these cocksuckers that are alive today. Unfortunately, he's been long dead. But he's got this book, Concord and Liberty. And essentially, without concord, without us coming together over something and having an agreement over something, without this concord, there's only discord. There's only disorder and chaos, division. Exactly what the powers that be want. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. You all stay healthy, stay level-headed, stay sharp.
Cartman, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just saying you're just a little worse. That's all.